Hello there, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing Resident Evil 5 on Professional difficulty. This is Chapter 2-2. It's entitled Train Station. It consists of four different areas, four distinct areas. Well, yeah, I guess there is three. There's this section here with the train and the train yards. Then you'll be in the mines, and then you'll be in the canyon, and then you'll be on a boss fight. Now, what you want to do is approach the trap, and then the dogs will spawn. There's going to be two right there and then one to the left. And they come under the train tracks, unfortunately. Or not the train tracks, they crawl under the trains here. And I'm sorry, but in Resident Evil 4, this would never have flown. They would never have enemies crawling under here where you can barely see them. So what I'm going to do is just approach this, shoot it, kill any dog that's nearby. I don't think I did, though. He glanced to the right as he ran past. Get the treasure right here. These beetles are usually worth pretty good money. And then you'll climb up here. So what we're doing is basically just avoiding that second spawn of the dogs. If you want to, you can trigger both of them. I don't know why you would want to, though. You can trigger both of them, run back to the house where you start. But it's pretty tricky because as soon as you kick the door open, these dogs are going to be biting you, and it's just really unfair. And I don't mind if something's hard, but when it starts to be unfair, then there's just less you can do about it as a gamer. And like I said, it wouldn't have flown in RE4. So my experiences with this franchise, it's simply Resident Evil 4 was the first game I played. I've never played the first three. I've never played 6. I will never play it. I know of its reputation. And I might play Revelations. I liked how when Revelations came out, they had a typo on the spine of the disc or the CD or whatever the hell it was. I guess it was on the 3DS when it first came out. My brother was going to get it, and they misspelled Revelations, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Really funny joke. So I think when I do my guide, if I do a guide for that, I will purposely make sure I retain that spelling error, because it's so bad. How does that happen? So a tough checkpoint, admittedly. That part is not easy, but it's not really fair either. So, just avoid the dogs, I would say, is the best thing to do there. What else to say? So there are sensitivity options. There isn't a slider of numbers to use. What you do is select from, I think it ranges from slow to fastest, and there are gradations in between. This part here I rather hate. If you want to, you can pick up the lamp and have Sheva kill the enemies. And there might also be footage of me going over to the right. No, I missed it. Actually, I didn't miss it. I know full well that the red herb is over there. But on these sections, I just want to bulldoze my way through them. I'm not really particularly keen on doing these sections. Now, when you knock one of these, I think this is the first time we've had one of the sprouters come out of the head like that. And I will be swapping my rifle out, because the rifle that you get by default, it shoots one time and then you have to do a long reload. And obviously you can do the reload trick if you want to, or upgrade the reload, but I would just prefer to have the second rifle that we're going to get pretty soon, that allows you to shoot more without reloading. So when Sheva gets hit, all you need to do is revive her. It's pretty simple. And you get iframes during it too, which is really nice. You get iframes during all the context actions that you do when you press the X button. And you get iframes when you're getting healed by Sheva and when you heal her. So it's pretty good. So I discussed sensitivity, the iframes. What else did I... There's a lot of topics that I wanted to talk about. Not necessarily divergent topics. But I should say that in this section, I think there are 3 head sprouters. When you're getting head sprouters, sometimes they are random. Other times, they're predetermined. So, like, if one guy's always getting one of those plagas on his head, you can always prepare for that. And you can use a flash grenade to instant kill him. But as you can see with the shotgun, this is how it should work. And as you can see, you shoot him, he falls over. That's what should happen. He's got a long range though, so be very careful. When you start with the rifle, it does take 4 shots, and what I would like to do is get my rifle upgraded in such a way that it maybe takes 2, hopefully one shot to take those guys down because they're very problematic. What I was saying also about Sheva holding that lamp is that whenever there's a part where I have to depend on AI, if there's a choice involved, I don't depend on the AI because it's something that you can't depend on, really. It's not made well enough. Even modern games, it's just not there yet to where it's competent. So we're just going to go up here now and just... if I were you, I would put a flash grenade on one of the D-pad directions so that you can quickly swap to it, or put it in the center so you press Y and then the A button to flip it. A couple of other things. There's going to be another head sprouter over here, and these guys are doing that linebacker strafe. Looks like. What did I want to say? It's a very particular combat system. I mean, when you are getting overrun, it just doesn't feel like you're able to access your inventory very well, and it's just... I just don't think there's any excuse for not having it. It shouldn't be in real time, bottom line. It should not be in real time. Maybe if you're in co-op, it's fine, but for a single-player campaign, give me a break, man. So I'm going to try to go up to this guy. Sometimes when you sidle up to them, you don't get the context-sensitive button for the what's it called when you twist their heads? Something I don't remember. It's fucking hot once again. Sorry about that, you guys. When I'm hot, I start getting mad and frustrated. But we're almost out of this area, and I can imagine that nobody really likes this too much, just because of the visibility is very poor. And anyway, so as far as my money, I'm pretty much down to like less than 200 of cash. And if you look in my inventory, which is not going to be in this video, it's just I don't have very much. So I've thrown a lot of stuff away. So you might be wondering why you want to do this, why you want to conserve ammo. I mean, it's a survival horror game. That's the bottom line. You want to survive. You want to be conservative with your ammunition, and you deal good damage to an enemy when you punch him with a quick time event. And it has a ripple effect on other enemies if they're close enough. When you punch somebody, if they collide with others, then the others get wounded too. So it's a win-win situation. It's helpful. Now this part here, when I played this on Veteran, I had Sheva turn the lever. Never again though after that first try, I was turning it. I turned it. I had her run up here, and it was just a catastrophe. So if you don't want a catastrophe, just have her turn it, and you run up here and turn this one. And I've never done this fight in here because the first time I got here on Veteran, I had no ammunition to kill all the enemies, and I decided to force the next checkpoint by running past everybody, and it worked. So I won't be doing this fight. I had mixed feelings when I was running up this ladder about not fighting, and unfortunately, when you're in the dark, to add insult to injury, the GPS is unavailable for use. So fortunately, it's a fairly linear path, and the main reason I usually check the map is just to see if Sheva is coming, and usually she is, unless she's detained or grabbed, something like that. So just a couple more enemies left. Dynamite throwers are always a nuisance, but they're going to be something that you need to get used to because they're going to be in the canyon area coming up. So there's an herb down here, and then we'll go up here, trigger the next spawn of foes, grab this, and do these Gears of War tactics. See, you can neither sidle along the cover or move the camera very well, in my experience, especially with these RE4 controls. Okay, so you may have noticed that what we're doing here is preventing guys from running to the turret. I think only a set amount, only a set amount of the guys, I think 3 go to that turret. So that's the first guy who attempts to go on there. And unfortunately, we are dealing with some sway with this sniper rifle, but I think that's usually what happens in games. I mean, the sway is very minimal on the other weapons. It does have a, I mean, if you actually like put your face like really close to the screen and scan the reticle, you do see that it moves perceptibly. It moves in a perceptible manner, but it isn't as bad as Resident Evil 4, even though I didn't have a problem with it too much. Even when I had weapons without stocks on them, I just dealt with it and got used to it. So the enemies that we're killing right now, there's 2 of them, and they come from, you see that door to the right? They do not come from that door, so you never have to guard it. They come from the door downstairs, and I'll show you which one it is in a minute when we go through it. And the idea here is just to finish up all the guys on the turret, and then you can go. You'll want to have your bulletproof vest on here. If you want, you can have both in your inventory, but that's going to take 2 squares off. So confrontations in this game are normally divided by firefights and fights with enemies. Just, you know, if they have something, they might be throwing some stuff, but they don't have guns. So it's either one or the other as far as which one you're going to select. Is pretty clear. I mean, like on the last few chapters, it's very evident that you need to have the bulletproof vest on because there's a lot of guys with guns. So what it does is, having the melee vest, it protects you a little bit from damage incurred by anything like a punch or, you know, anything that's just not a gun. And the bulletproof vest will protect you from projectiles. And it may be exclusive to just bullets, and I think that is true actually. It might just be bullets, not crowbars or axes or anything like that. It just, I don't think it specifies. And this is a pretty difficult section, but if you can push up a little bit further, you will secure a checkpoint. And then I think the next checkpoint is a little bit more difficult. And the boss, I don't mind the boss of this chapter too much, because we will be getting the proximity mines, which when I saw those I was very pleased that they have those in this game. They're good for damage dealing, and they're also good for anticipating where enemies are coming and killing them when you don't even have to do much. You just place one there, and when enemies are going to spawn from somewhere, you can rest assured that they'll run right over those traps. And they don't affect the characters. However, if an enemy runs over a mine and it explodes, and either you or Sheva are close by, that does affect you, and you'll deal massive damage. Get dealt massive damage, excuse me. So I do like the fact that there's only a set amount of enemies who come in that house originally, and I also like the fact that only about 3 guys go on the turret. Everybody else just doesn't want to go on there apparently, and that's nice for us. And I also may have missed one of the jewels over here, but I did not miss this one. And as far as those treasures that you collect, I don't know if there's an achievement for it. I don't care. So the only thing you're collecting those for is just money. You don't combine them with other treasures, unfortunately. They chose to not do that. And I think it works well for this game. They're just a means of securing more cash for yourself as you sell them in. And it looks like what we have over here is somebody throwing dynamite, and I'm very aware of him. And what you want to do is shoot the hand holding the dynamite as much as possible to try to instantly kill the guy with the dynamite. And I think this guy over here, I don't think I ever accounted for him, so he must have died. So what happens is when you shoot, what happened right there was you're putting them into a momentary stun, And in that stun, the dynamite's blowing up, and then they blow up, which is nice. So that's it. I think there might be one guy coming back here. But once you jump down, you do get a checkpoint. And this part was really frustrating for me on Veteran. And that's why I don't like doing guides when a game first comes out, because there's just no way you're competent enough at the game. Like if I was doing a guide for playing this game on the first time I ever encountered it, it would just be a sloppy mess. But now that I've gone through it again, and I think that's why my channel suffers, because I can't get things out fast enough to people, and I just refuse to do it because, you know, I can't. There's no competing, and I don't want to rush. I just don't want to rush to get it out because I know there's no winning. There is a chance that I might get more views, but the views aren't that important to me. I would rather be more acquainted with the game and just be more competent, because if I put something out there that I'm not proud of, or that I feel badly about because I just don't know enough about it. You see, the thing with this is I don't know about this game. I don't know a lot of the intricacies that speedrunners use, and I don't have a handle on the bestiary as well. But I don't think that matters as much as building strategies for people that are going to help them, because not knowing a boss's name is not going to help anybody not be able to beat that boss, because I know exactly what to do on him. I don't know his name, and I don't want to know his name. All I want to do is tell people how to beat him. And obviously, when this game came out, this is a 6-year-old game. The only people that need help with this game are the ones playing it now, and most people aren't playing this game because they just want to play new stuff. And I like new stuff too, but you have to realize that games are getting more of like experiences, and they're trying to be movies, and I don't like that whatsoever, because I don't like watching movies in the first place. I play a game because I want to play the goddamn game. And I think that's a bad turn for games, that they're trying to be cinematic and they're trying to be movies. They're trying to ingratiate you into an experience. I don't know who decided to do that, like how that trend ever started to develop, but it's very bad. Oh, also, there is an assist over here with Sheva. You can assist her up the ladder, but every time I tried to do that on Veteran, she died, and I could never get the upper hand on enemies. So if I were you, you can try it if you'd like, because the checkpoint is right there. But I'm telling you, Sheva is a liability in this instance. There's a lot of instances in this game where she holds her own fine, and I have no problems with her. Pretty much. I realize this is a game where there's another character, so I don't care. When I'm getting killed and I'm getting revived, I definitely don't mind her existence whatsoever, because she's helping me prolong my run. So for the boss, what you'll want to have is the sniper rifle you picked out of the locker in that previous house, because you can fire without having to reload, and I would upgrade it as much as possible. I think I upgraded it once because it's all I could afford right now. And you'll also want to have the proximity mines. I couldn't figure out how to deal with that boss at first until I had to keep running around and going into the tents and picking up the proximity mines, and I realized, well, wait a minute, this is a new item over here, so they probably are trying to get the player to start using a new item and work with it on the boss, and that's exactly what they're doing. So it's a bat-like enemy, and it has a kind of a pinkish red weak spot that is very easy to hit once you down him. So what you're doing is you're just waiting for an opportunity to lay those mines, and then trying to bait the boss to walk over them. And he does it fine. It works great. There's no issues.
It's too heavy for you. Let me give you a hand.
So a few things over here to collect, and all we're going to do is try to down him right when we see him with the rifle. And the fight's going to start right over here. So just jump on down here, switch to your rifle. I think 2 or 3 shots will take him down depending on how much you've upgraded this rifle. And get over to one side of him and just start firing as many times as possible. And then at some point you'll need to relent a little bit so that you can put these on the ground. And it's the best way to incapacitate him and deal damage to him simultaneously. So a couple of times I was trying to get back to where the boss was downed, because they give you about 20 seconds of free hits on him. But I didn't want to cross any lines over here as far as where my mines were located, and I just didn't want him to move at all and disrupt the mine and blow up Sheva or me. So about 3 barrages of this will take him down. And 5 mines is all you're available to hold. Although if you have Sheva, hold 5, then you can potentially have 10 available per session. And obviously you can pick up more if you happen to. Okay, so it looks like he's skirting around that mine a little bit, and I'm going to have to pick that up and set it at a different location. So just place it in the middle and then kind of lead him. Oh, you see these QuickTime events? There's a lot of instances in this game where they're having you evade with a QuickTime event, and it's either X+A or it's left trigger and right trigger. And you can get away with pressing all 4 at once, like in Resident Evil 5. However, sometimes you're penalized for pressing the buttons too fast or too slow, which is going to be a problem on the next boss, because he took me 45 minutes to beat. It's very difficult, and it's all because of the QuickTime events. It's because of the QuickTime events and because of the lackeys. But this is the final assault on this boss right now, and I will see you guys in the next chapter. Take care.